Welcome everybody. Today is the 8th of June 2013 and we are here in Pretoria, South Africa. And I'm here with a dear friend, Rutendo Ngara. And she is a research associate of the SARCHI chair. And we are here gathered so that we want to know, Rutendo, first perhaps you could very briefly explain what the SARCHI chair is, and then perhaps share some of your experiences and some of your views of what makes this chair special and what it has brought to you.
Okay. The SARCHI chair, the SARCHI is an acronym for the South African Research Chairs Initiative, which was initiated by the Department of Science and Technology in South Africa, and it's managed and administered by the National Research Foundation. And our particular chair here at UNISA...
So it is the government
and the Department
having decided it?
Yes.
And then giving it to be administrated by the National Research Council?
That's correct.
And then there are several chairs?
There are several chairs in several universities.
Right.
And the South African Research Chair in Development Education was the first chair at the University of South Africa,
okay,
at UNISA.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And the holder is? The
holder is Professor Catherine Odora Hoppers, and she is an international expert in areas of development and intellectual property, indigenous knowledge systems, amongst other things.
Yes.
Yes. The main I think key to the SARCHI chair in development education is the question of human development and transformative actions towards achieving human development within the academic field. Part of that includes the transformation of the academy. So a lot of the research that is done within the chair is looking at strategic interventions for the transformation of the academy to become a more inclusive and humane institution, especially with its engagement with communities. The chair has particular themes and these are research themes. Firstly, it's science, culture and society.
Science, culture and society.
Mm-hmm. Another theme is the conditions for the integration of indigenous knowledge systems. Another theme is the universities and society, which is really looking at the community engagement aspect. And then peace and human development. And these research themes run through the work that the SARCHI chair herself, Professor Hoppers, does, but also the themes that many of the students, the postgraduate students, the master's and doctoral students take up in their studies. And it is a transdisciplinary chair. So the students and indeed the emeritus professors that are affiliated and associated with the chair come from a vast array of backgrounds, disciplines, such as quantum physics, education, peace studies, medicine, engineering. They're all coming in to look at these key questions about the transformation of the academy and also sustainable and humane societies, the transformation of society as a whole. So yes, that's the key areas.
And how are you embedded there?
I am a research coordinator, mm-hmm, and I mentioned the 4 themes. My main aim is looking at coordinating research around the science, culture and society theme. I come from an engineering background, but I'm very interested in how science meets community and science meets the other. And so this is why I have a special interest in that particular research theme. And I also help with the kind of strategic inputs and intellectual inputs into the chair and just supporting the chair basically in its functions and its running.
And you have your own research?
Yes, I'm also doing my doctorate with the research chair. My doctorate, the working title is Science, Culture, Cosmology and Paradigms of Healing. And I'm looking at different medical systems, specifically Western medicine, Chinese medicine and African medicine, and looking at them from the transdisciplinary lenses of looking through their cosmologies, their cultures, the cultures that evolve from the cosmology and the science that evolves from the culture that holds those medical systems, in order to try and find points of synergy and points of dissonance where there are, and really trying to respond to the questions at an international level of how to integrate medical systems. So I'm really looking into going to the constitutive rules of these medical systems to see where they can and cannot work together, and where they cannot, why they cannot, basically.
You know, I know that Catherine puts a lot of emphasis on giving time to students to evolve and to immerse them in conversations, so that a theme, that they don't hurry into something, but that it really comes out authentically from. And how did you experience that?
Yes. Key to the methodology that the Saatchi Chair uses, as you've mentioned, an immersion process where the idea is to develop a transdisciplinary competence, but to expand cognition. So within this, the students are exposed to, as I mentioned, emeritus professors and intellectuals from across the intellectual and disciplinary spectrum on key questions that are plaguing society, so that they're able to look at their own research questions not as this little microcosm, but as part of a bigger web to answer greater problems that are plaguing society. And so I was privileged to be part of this process, where I have access to engagements with professors from, as I mentioned, physics, from physics to philosophy to indigenous knowledge, in order to see my research question not just within the realms of the healthcare arena, but in the realms of the global arena, in the realms of the economic arena, where I'm not necessarily coming from that background. I don't actually have a background in that, but it has really helped to expand my notions of how every little aspect of society fits into the greater whole, into the macrocosm. And so I think that has been the value of this immersion program, is getting that expanded view and feeling that you're actually a part of a great web, an interconnected, interdependent web, all towards the aim of transformative change, of restoration, of allowing plurality to exist, and allowing multiple cosmologies and multiple epistemologies to coexist. I think all really ultimately looking towards peace, from the academic point of view, but at a cosmic point of view as well.
Yes. And you have, I'm not sure how much you want to share. You have a very broad background with which you came. You are not 20 years old, just jumping into this. You have a long life experience behind you.
Yes.
Long and long.
Yes.
I should say long about mine, yes. Not about yours, but.
Yes, I'm coming from an engineering background.
Mm-hmm.
I first studied electrical engineering.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was very interested in how engineering actually really impacts human development.
Mm-hmm.
And in my search, I then moved on to study biomedical engineering at a master's level. And that was, part of my search to find the humanity,
mm-hmm.
within the engineering. And the journey then took me through to medicine. I started, medical studies,
mm-hmm.
also looking for that search, and finally ended up, here with the doctorate. Along the way, I also did other things like fashion design and teaching. I think just really in my own space, trying to find a place to expand my own cognition. So coming into a chair which actually validates that was very
I think
profound
many people
for me.
who listen now, they will say, wow, where is this? Because normally in academia you have this experience that you are supposed to be in a box and to fit there.
Absolutely.
And here the box is not there, or it's very large.
Absolutely. So just allowing, and what it has helped is for me to integrate these different experiences which seem to be disparate at first. It seemed I seemed to be going in directions which seemed not to have a common thread, but through the immersion program I've been able to find that common thread through my very varied background.
Yes. What else would you like to share with the students of the world who might watch us now?
Well, I think just one of the key themes, or kind of the key tenets of the Saatchi chair is Professor Catherine Adora Hoppers always tells new students when they come in that when you engage in a research project, you need to be able to own it, but also own up to it, and you need to develop your leadership capacity through that project, and it needs to be something that comes from your gut. It needs to be something that sings in your heart and not just an academic exercise. And I think I'd love to see more students approaching their studies from a gut place, from a place of the gut, from a place of the heart, and from a place of wanting to make a positive change in the world, a restorative and transformative change in the world. So basically creating change agents, and I think that's just the key to that. Your research work, your academic endeavors must be equipping you to become change agents. I think that's the value.
You know that I resonate a lot with the term dignity, and to me this is the manifestation of dignity, what you talk about in lives, personal lives, and in society and in global society.
Yes.
And the trend in academia is not that at the moment.
Yes.
The main trend is to not produce change agents.
Yes.
So I personally am very, very impressed, and I'm very impressed also by your personal journey and how you have been able to bring all the threads of your life together so that you see that there is a unity there. And I also wish you all the strength you need.
Thank you very much.
To go further now.
Thank you. I think just drawing on from your dignity and the change agent, what's also key is that the change is not necessarily a change that you're imparting out without, but it's a change within. And I think that's where the dignity comes in, is finding that empowerment from within through an academic endeavor, which would not traditionally be a means of finding that. So yes.
Anything more, or should we thank our audience for watching us, for being with us? Thank you for being with us.
Thank you very much.